I have a confession. That was clickbait. This is not a solution for chronic low back pain, but I offer a different perspective that may help you. Chronic low back pain, if you have this or experiencing this situation, consider it's the story you've convinced yourself to be true, that you are your low back and you are your low back pain, your identification with it, and then now that you are perceived as broken or injured, and that your lower back is all that you are, so now you're somewhat fragile, and any inkling, anything remotely resembling a stimulus to the low back and its soft tissues is perceived as a threat, to the point that you drop everything and break down. It's a story you've told yourself. Now, consider when you cut yourself and a scar forms immediately, and after a while that scar is fully healed. Is that scar the same integrity as the skin around it? No. There's induration. It's a little bit tougher because you've healed. So if you've had an injury to the back where the soft tissues are actually involved, there's scar tissue, there's induration, fibrosis, there's thickening, there's very, very durable, very strong soft tissues that replace the injury. That's the whole inflammatory healing process. What is fragile is your perception of that area. Now you've convinced yourself it's a weak point or a weakness. So you subconsciously and unconsciously created clever strategies to protect that area. That is normal. That is a classic innate survival protective strategy or mechanism so that we could survive as a species. So it's a fact that with chronic cases of low back pain, the soft tissues are pretty good. It's how you perceive those soft tissues, how the brain perceives it, that needs to be convinced or understood, because the brain still thinks that it's injured just like it happened yesterday, or it's still acute. But the key word here is chronic low back pain. So, time to tell a new story. You are resilient. You are pliable. You are adaptable. You may not believe it now, but you are. You are not just the lower back. You have a whole body. You've got hundreds of muscles that work together so that you can move. What you think of, oh, if I lift this, or if I bend, or if I twist, I'm going to hurt my back. Well, you're going to hurt your back. But if you consider the reality that that's just a normal limiting belief story that you've told yourself to protect you, like an overbearing, overprotective parent with a child that's already an adult and can live on their own, the child being the soft tissues involved in the chronic area, those soft tissues are very resilient, very pliable, and very adaptable. So I don't want to just leave you here with all this stuff. Oh, show me an exercise, show me some kind of self-smashing or self-soft tissue technique for my lower back. I'm going to show you an exercise when I used to study a lot of Qigong back in the day. I'm not a Qigong master, but I take the useful and what I found useful for helping others with chronic low back pain and what they can do. And it's, I guess, it's a form of a Qigong, more of a yin yang, more of a yang than a yin, where it's creating full body tension, like isometric, but isometric with movement. So So imagine you're tightening, engaging every muscle from your big toe to your little toe to your anus to the top of your scalp, everything in between. Everything's contracting all at once, and you're doing a movement. I'm just going to show you a few movements, and keep in mind, I'm going to speed it up a little bit just for the sake of time management, but in reality, you want to do this as slow as possible. If you think you're going slow, go slower. So, I'm going to stand here. I'm just going to do it. Try it out.